Hey guys, today is finally time to add our list of products to the homepage. According to our initial idea, we will have 3 lists here. The first one will show the most popular products on the store. The second one will show the newest products, which has just been added to the store. And finally, the so-called deal of the week. Well, now what? Where do we start? How to bring a list of WooCommerce products and show them in a template file? Well, there are several ways to do that. One of those ways would be to create the initial markup of the area, just like we did on the slide, remember? And then we create a loop that will bring the number of posts we want to show. And by now, you should have realized that each product in WooCommerce is also a post. So it's possible to make a loop that brings those products, and inside that loop, we will have to call each post field. I mean the title, the image, the price, the add to cart button, etc. That will take a substantial amount of work. It's more or less what the author of this theme did here. Look at how many lines of code. Later, we're going to be building something like this with a very similar level of complexity in the deal of the week section. But there's another much simpler solution. We can use the shortcodes included in WooCommerce. Advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that you need to write less code. You can use those shortcodes anywhere. Usually shortcodes are more common within posts, pages, or widgets, but any shortcode can also be added to PHP template files and everything is very easy. Another advantage is that the level of possibilities is quite considerable. The WooCommerce team really did a great job making this feature available. But the big downside is that you don't have total control over the look of the list, since it will be based on WooCommerce's base template files, which are those files we worked with previously here in the course. But this isn't a problem that cannot be solved, especially if you use our brains, a bit of CSS, conditional tags, and mess with one hook or another. You will finish this course with a high level of knowledge in WooCommerce and WordPress, you see. So let's do it, because I talked about the shortcodes and haven't shown anything yet. In this page of the WooCommerce documentation, you have access to all of them. We start here with the main shortcodes, for example, WooCommerce cart, which you can find inside the cart page of your installation. And these shortcodes are used to generate the entire layout of the pages that make WooCommerce work. But for now, they are of no interest to us. What really matters is that category of shortcodes called products. Here in the description, they say it's one of the most robust shortcodes. It allows us to show products by post ID, SKU, categories, and many other combinations. It is important to remember that it only works as of version 3.2 of WooCommerce. So if you want to sell your theme created with the help of this shortcode, you have to make it clear to the buyer that he or she needs at least version 3.2. Otherwise, the theme will not work well, okay? So come on. So here below we have all the possible settings for use inside the shortcode. I'm not going to talk about each of them, okay? It will be your job to study, test, and when it's time to create your own theme, use the attributes you think make the most sense in the theme. The documentation is very rich and has many examples of use. For example, in this first case, a shortcode like this one produces a result similar to this one on the screen. Well, let's see how this can help us. Let's go to our homepage template file. And we're gonna deal with this first list of popular products here. The first thing I'm gonna do here is remove this row. Let's just stick with the container because we won't be able to use Bootstrap columns in here. So it will get in the way instead of helping us. Let's create an H2 title here. The shortcode we need will always start with products, like this. And after that, we pass the attributes in double quotes. It's very important that you use double quotes, right? Well, what kind of configuration do we want on our list? Let's take a look at the documentation. Well, we can first use these two attributes here. Limit to define how many products the list will contain, and columns to define the number of columns. So let's go like this. Limit for columns 4. Another thing we need to say is that only the most popular products will appear on the list. For this, we can use order by and pass the popularity value. This will bring the 4 products, but ordered by the most purchased items. You can also pass, for example, a rating, which will order the products by the highest rated, or date, which will order the list by the new products. Okay, but this is not enough to show something on the screen. This kind of shortcode is good to be used inside a post, a page, or a text widget, but inside the PHP file it doesn't work. If you want it to do something, we have to pass the shortcode as a parameter of a function called do_shortcode. All in single quotes. And then do an echo to display the return of the function, like this. Let's save. And now, as you can see, we have the products on the screen. There are 4 products in 4 columns. If you resize the browser, you can see that everything in here is already responsive. Great. Now we can do the same thing if you want to bring the recently published products in the store. Let's just copy this here. And here, instead of popularity, let's write date. Cool. Now the second list is displaying, and it's different from the first one because of the order we've chosen. You can play later with all the possibilities that shortcodes offer. There are many of them. Now the downside, as I mentioned before, is that the look of the list is the same as the one you have here on the page that has the general list of products. Do you understand? Even the CSS is the same. However, it's possible to change the look of what you see on the homepage. Another thing you can do is leave the control of these numbers here to the users. In the next lessons, I will show you how to do that. So don't miss them. Bye for now and take care.